effective mentor-mentee relationship. Please welcome Toastmaster Noman Abid.
Thank you very much for being so generous with the introduction. Imagine a young boy standing on a stage in front of tens of people. The spotlight is on that young boy, tens of eyes looking at him, in fact, staring at him. He's standing there nervous. His voice is shaky, his hands are trembling. His voice is not supporting his words. His body language is not backing what he wants to say, what's in his mind. He's nervous. Sweat is coming out of his forehead. He's all shaky. But that presentation was a pivotal point for his success. That could have changed the trajectory of his success, that one presentation. But fear has paralyzed him and stopped him to achieve what he wanted to achieve. Now let's imagine the same scenario of that young boy, but now he has somebody who is beside him. The person who has his hand on that young boy's shoulder, who is helping him to cover that turbulent journey with that hand holding, and who's helping him to stay composed, to stay calm, to stay confident in those turbulent times. That is what a mentor does. And now the situation, the presentation will be so far different. The difference will be a day and night, because mentorship has such a transformational power in somebody's life. Myself, Noman Abid, dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I'm here to talk about mentorship today. Why I'm the right person to talk about mentorship? Because I believe that whatever accolades that I have achieved in my life, whatever things that Toastmaster of the evening has mentioned, it was never possible if I could have had this solitary journey all alone. I believe that all the things that I have achieved, or what I'm still on the journey of achievement, I don't believe in reaching somewhere, but covering this wonderful journey, beautiful journey, a lot of mentors, a lot of hands were there on my shoulder who have helped me to cover those turbulent, bumpy roads that are often difficult to cover alone. So that is why a mentor can transform your life, and I'm really happy that the president has taken an initiative and started this mentorship program. But in this session, I'll be talking about the effectiveness of mentorship. Why is it effective? Why is there a need to have a mentor in our lives? Because he has done his job. He has started and allocated mentors to all of the mentees who are looking forward to mentors. But if you don't understand the effectiveness of this intervention, it won't give you any benefit, or you won't be getting the crux of that intervention of mentor and mentee. The benefit that you can reap out of that relationship, it won't be possible if you don't understand the effectiveness of mentorship. And that is for what I'm here for. Are you excited or not?
Yes.
Yes. Are you ready or not?
Yes.
With your yes, tell me how much excited you are. Are you excited or not?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. So imagine that you are a captain of a ship that is in an uncharted water. You are the captain, you have the steering. You have the steering, you have the resources, but you lack knowledge and experience to reach to where you want to reach. You know exactly where you want to reach, but you lack knowledge and resources to reach where you want to reach. Let me tell you that mentorship is like a compass that will help that captain to walk through that uncharted water, to help him avoid rocks and icebergs in case, and reach to the destination where the captain wants to reach. So for a public speaker, a mentor or mentorship is like a compass that will help him to walk through the uncharted waters of self-doubt, fears, distress, stress, and help him to reach where he wants to reach. So for today, I want you to remember a word called ACC. Can I have a pen, please? ACC. From ACCA, you remember ACC, drop the A. Or from AC, remember ACC, add another C. Right? So ACC will tell you why mentorship is effective. So from A, I mean accelerated learning. If somebody is writing, if you would like to note anything, so you can also note. A say accelerated learning. Now, remember we used to play games when we were kids, and in those games there always used to be some hacks. Like, मुझे याद है GTA Vice City हम खेलते थे, उसमें हमेशा cheat codes होते थे. So whoever knew those cheat codes, whoever knew those hacks, was always covering those stages faster than the person who didn't know those hacks. In life, there are hacks. There is one innocent guy who wants to live a conventional life, who wants to, live by the rules of society. He will always cover that path slower as compared to the person who is very street smart, who knows the hacks, who uses those hacks and cover that journey faster. Through a mentor, you will accelerate your learning journey as a public speaker. Now, let me tell you one thing from the very, very, very bottom of my heart, that life won't give you a lot of stages to practice. Life won't give you a lot of such setups to come here, do the mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and have an experiential learning. No. This is not going to happen. Life is not, the world is not kind enough, people are not kind enough to sit and listen to you, give you a real audience, and you learn by doing the mistakes. Now, what a mentor does he has already covered that journey. Through his life experience, you can save a lot of your years, a lot of your learning, a lot of your mistakes, and you can learn from his experience. So the journey that was supposed to be covered in 5 years will be covered in 1 year probably by having a mentor in your life. Because now there is an accelerated learning process. Because as somebody said, and I really like this quote, that if you sweat, the more you sweat in peace, the lesser you bleed in war. So peace is the time where you need to sweat. So with a mentor, you create a safe space, you create an imaginary stage where you practice yourself, and you get better and better from his feedback instead of going on a real stage and doing the practice there, because you won't be getting enough opportunities here. If I ask you about the number of speeches you've done, they're on the count of your fingers. So if you're thinking that by doing those speeches I'll be getting better, best of luck. Because you are going to reach there, but it will take a lot of time. So the hack is to get a person who has already covered that journey, उसके पीछे पड़ जाएं and ask him about all the secret ingredients that he has, because he'll tell you what to do and what not to do, because he'll tell you from his perspective that what is working for you and what is not working for you, because in a lot of cases I cannot see what is working for me because I live in a delusion, or I have a very, very, very limited perspective of me, The first thing is accelerated learning. So from the second C, what do I mean by C is constructive feedback. A good mentor will give you a constructive feedback. Now let me break a bad news to all of you. The bad news is you're not the best. You're not the best. Trust me. No one is the best. Because in this world where things are changing so fast, technology is changing, methodologies are changing, processes are changing, everything is evolving, you cannot claim to be best. Because you were best yesterday, now everything is changed. So you got to upskill yourself in order to be better than you were before. So you can become better, but you cannot become best. So one thing is that break your ego and tell yourself that I'm not best. Because our problem is that we think that we are the best. I don't need any feedback. Because for feedback, it takes a lot of courage to receive a feedback. Believe you me. It is not easy to let somebody tell you that you are not, you should have done this or you should have done that. हम कहा जा तुझे क्या पता भाई? अपना देखा तूने? खुद तो खड़े होने का नहीं पता तुझे. So we are so defensive about feedback that we think that we are the best. The person who thinks he is the best, my suggestion to him or her is that you should get a long sleep and die. Because there is no point of living another day where you don't want to become a better person. Huzur Pak ki dua bhi hai ki Allah mera aane wala kal mere guzre hue kal se behtar ho. Constant learning, daily basis pe learning, I'm getting a better person. So a mentor is the one. Because it is public speaking, it's not self-speaking. Unfortunately, it's public speaking. So you got to see how public sees me. Because I think probably I'm doing a lot of things right. There are a lot of blind areas that I have. Because I'm not seeing myself as a third. You are the third person for me. You are seeing me as a third person. I can never see myself the way you are seeing me. Never, ever. Even I put a camera there and I see the recording, I'm seeing it again with my own eyes, with my own preconceived beliefs about myself. You are the only person who can see me as a third person. So a mentor is the one who will give you a critical feedback. Because in Toastmaster, we are very generous, we are very kind. We only give very good feedback. That is good because in front of people you don't give critical feedback. But in person, there has to be a critical feedback. Because you cannot grow unless there is somebody who slaps on your face and tells you the reality. Right? Who slaps at your face and tells you or awares you with the truth. That this is not working for you, this is not right, you should change this. Your voice is not right, you need to bring more modulation in it. Or whatever the case is. But there has to be somebody who tells you the truth. Who is not sugarcoating anything. And for that to happen, I told you that number one is you got to believe that I'm not the best. Number second is you got to have courage to get the feedback. Third thing is that there has to be a trust between mentee and mentor in order for that feedback loop to start. Because if I don't trust the other person, I won't be open to receive whatever he's saying. So I got to have a very strong trust relationship with my mentor where I truly believe that he is there for my well-being or he's my well-wisher or he's trying to help me. Because if you don't trust the other person, you won't let him change you. For a mentor again, if you think that there is not a trust between me and my mentee, don't bombard him with all the feedback because he'll be defensive. Because he'll have all the... because there is a natural tendency or human nature that we don't want to hear that we are wrong. No one in this world wants to hear that he is wrong. This is a natural tendency. The moment somebody comes to me and says that, Noman, you are wrong here, the moment he says that, even though I am wrong, I know in my conscience that I am wrong, I'll suddenly take out all my defense mechanism and I'll try to defend myself. You see it happening in all the arguments in our country, be it political, be it religious, and be it every other argument. No one is, getting convinced. Everybody is bringing their defense mechanism out and they are defending themselves. And the other person is trying to bring the other person down and the person is defending himself. So similar is the case with a mentor and mentee relationship. If there is not a trust between them, they won't be able to receive your feedback with an open mind. Right? So there has to be a relationship where you allow your mentor, again, to slap on your face. Because यहाँ पे गांधी वाली philosophy अपनानी है कि if somebody slaps on the one side of your face, present him the other side. Not to everybody, but to your mentor. So उसके साथ वो उस तरह का ताल्लुक होना चाहिए कि you let him ridicule you oftentimes. Because unless you don't do that, the learning won't happen. And when there is a good mentor, it brings miracles for you. And we have seen it happening in all the extraordinary individuals in the world that we have seen. Michael Phelps is one of the amazing examples, who is a person who is a swimmer, international swimmer, who is the highest gold medals achiever in the history of Olympics across any game. So he is a swimmer, he has achieved the maximum gold medals across any game in Olympics ever. So one time what happened was that it was a final round of the Olympics swimming. Michael Phelps jumped into the water and he started his sprint, but the moment he jumped into the water, the water goggles, they broke and he couldn't see anything in the water. So he started his journey, वो swimming करते वो एक lap से पहुंचा, he came back. When he came out, everybody was applauding and his coach, mentor came to him and said, amazing, you have broken your previous record and there is a new world record. The fastest laps in the history of swimming Olympics. So after that, when people came to know कि उसके वो goggles खराब हो गए थे, वो देख नहीं सकता था, तो उससे पूछा गया कि how did you manage to swim because you can't see any competitor, क्योंकि आप अक्सर वो competitor को देख के अपनी speed थोड़ी सी और तेज करते हैं, थोड़ा सा boost आता है आपके अंदर. He said कि I've done it so many times that I don't need real eyes to do it. I have done it so many times and my mentor has pushed me to do it so many times that now I don't need to do it consciously. So with mentor, you do a lot of practice. So on the stage, you don't need to do a lot of things consciously. For example, I don't need to think that how am I using my hands? Am I standing straight? My voice is fluctuating or not? Then it happens naturally because you have done it so many times with a mentor in a safe space where you allowed him to give you feedback. You've taken that feedback, implemented it, and now you're a better person. So from the third C, I mean by is confidence boost. Now we are very innocent beings. We humans are very innocent. We need somebody to believe in us. We need somebody to tell us that you can do it. I remember one of my teachers who has had an amazing role in my life. Ma'am Shaiza is her name. I have talked about her in lots of my podcasts and trainings. She's the one who has had an amazing impact on my life. I remember one time I came in front of people. It was a normal class. And I gave a presentation. And trust me, I'm being very honest, I did a pathetic job. She called me after the class and she appreciated me and said, you have done a wonderful job, Noman. I really liked you. And I didn't trust her words, but the way she was saying it, somehow in my subconscious, I believed in her. I said, probably she's saying it right. She said, next time I तुम्हें सबसे पहले बुलाऊंगी and I want you to do it again and do it better. मैंने कहा ठीक है. Because it was communication की class, so there were a lot of presentations. हर class में वो presentation के लिए मैं बुलाती थी. So she started giving me more and more stage. I was doing and I was getting more confident about myself. What happened at the end of that semester, there was a competition in NUST, National Public Speaking Challenge. Ma'am Shaiza said, Noman, enroll for that competition because it is a public speaking competition and I want you to enroll in that. I said, I've never ever competed in any contest. And I have nothing to do with public speaking at all. I've never spoken in front of anyone except this class, and you pushed me to come in front of people. She said, no, you're going to win. I said, win wali to scene hi nahi hai. I wish कि मैं वहाँ पे जो है वो अपनी इज्जत बचा के आ जाऊँ. I stand there and speak for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. I am not, and trust me, I'm being very honest, I didn't believe at all that I'm going to win. But she was so sure. She said, I bet on you, you are going to win. I went into NUST, I gave because now she believed in me. So I was more worried about, for her face. You understand what is happening? Because she believed in me, now I was trying to save her face instead of proving something. So I did all my best. मैंने एक निकाली speech इसी की, पता नहीं कतानी की थी या किसकी थी. तो मैंने full रट्टा मारा उसका, A to Z, सारे expressions भी रट्टे उसके. I went there and luckily the judges didn't knew about that speech, otherwise I would have been disqualified. So I gave that speech and I won. And I surprised myself. And I came back and I told Ma'am Shaiza that I won. She said, I told you you're going to win. And she was not surprised at all. So we need somebody in our lives who tells us that, I believe in you. So for a mentor, he has to be very honest with that person and he has to have courage to tell him all the secrets and see him becoming a better person than he himself is. Because again, it takes a lot of courage to be a mentor too, a true honest mentor, who really wants to see the other person grow, who really wants to see the other person shine brighter than he shines. So the third was that confidence booster. So my time is short, so I'll try to squeeze my session. That public speaking again is not a solitary journey. You got to engage with public, get their feedback, be it mentors or be it general public, to become better and come out of your shell where you are trying to prove yourself, where you are trying to get all the appreciations, where you are trying to get the claps, where you are trying to get the appreciation of people and standing ovations and all those. The day you will break that shell and you will come out of your shell trying to prove something, what will happen is that you will experience something different. And instead of trying to prove something, focus on learning this skill. Focus on that how a human can inspire other humans. How can a human standing in front of people can persuade people to do something? How did Hitler has persuaded people through his communication to kill a whole generation, to kill a whole ethnicity? How did Martin Luther King Jr. through his word has inspired people to bring a racial revolution? How did Barack Obama, being a black American immigrant, through his speech, you go on YouTube and search a speech that made Obama president, convince people to make him president in the White House. You see the word White House, a first ever black man in the history of America and consecutive president 2 times. What is happening there? Try to be curious to understand this phenomenon of public speaking. That what is the secret that a speaker comes onto the stage and he creates a spell in the audience? How does he do that? How does he create that magic that everybody is sitting there in their conscious, forgetting about their work, forgetting about their tensions and stresses and family, and they are there present, conscious, listening to that person. What is happening there? But the problem is that I am so in my shell trying to prove me or trying to look better, sound better, all myself, that I am not enjoying the journey of the process. This is a beautiful journey, and that can be covered through a good mentor. Remember again the ship that was in the uncharted waters. You have the potential to charter your own territory through the power of words. And with the mentorship as a compass, you can conquer your fears, you can find your voice, and you can sail confidently through the journey to the horizon of success. Thank you very much. Right, perfect. How many of you have heard about Shams Tabriz and Rumi's story? All right, wonderful. So Rumi जो है ना, वो Shams Tabriz were very वो कभी भी नहीं चाहते थे कि वो उनको शागिर्दी मिले, लेकिन रूमी ने बहुत जो है कोशिश की, बहुत पीछे पड़े, बहुत एड़ियाँ रगड़ी, और उसके बाद कन्विंस किया तब्रेज़ को कि वो उनको शागिर्दी मिलें. आपको मैं नहीं कह रहा कि आपने एड़ियाँ रगड़नी है, बट वन थिंग फॉर ऑल दी मेंटीज हेयर, दैट मेंटोर से जितना आप निकाल सकते हैं वो आपकी स्किल है. मेंटोर कभी भी आपके पास आके आपको जो है वो सब कुछ नहीं देगा. यू हैव टू रन आफ्टर हिम. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट माई सेल्फ, आई एम टॉकिंग जनरली टू ऑल द पीपल, कि जितने भी आपके मेंटोर्स हैं आपने उनके पीछे भागना होता है. उनको बॉदर, ये लव्स इज नॉट द राइट वर्ड. यू डोंट बॉदर पीपल. इफ यू हैव real urge to learn, I think any sensible person who knows the thing and you are desperate and you want to learn that thing, what he knows, he'll definitely be humble enough to share that knowledge with you. But there has to be an eager and thirst to learn. So it won't happen कि दो बंदों को आपस में मिला दिया और आप एक्सपेक्ट करें कि मेंटोर खुद मेरे पास आए और वो मुझे कहें कि आई वांट टू टेल यू समथिंग. बट आप उनके पास उनको अप्रोच करें, आप उनको वीडियोस बना के भेजें. आप फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे अपनी स्पीच दे रहे हैं और मैं नहीं हूँ, यू मेक समबडी रिकॉर्ड दैट वीडियोस, यू सेंड इट टू मी एंड से कि दिस वाज माय प्रेजेंटेशन, आई वांट यू टू गिव फीडबैक ऑन दैट. और यू रिकॉर्ड योर वीडियोस इन योर होम, in your rooms, and then send it to your mentor and say, how was my facial expressions? You gave me a feedback on facial expressions last time. Now I have recorded this video in my room. Tell me, did it get better or do I need to do something else? So when you do such kind of an effort, when you are going an extra mile, आप एक और वीडियो से बना के भेज रहे हैं, तो मैं भी फिर शरीफ इंसान हूँ, मुझे भी जो है वो तरस आएगा या मुझे भी दिल करेगा आपको वो चीज़ बताने का, because I'll see that thirst and hunger in you. Jawad. All right, wonderful question. I have my own perspective about myself. My mentor has a different perspective. Who is right? There is no right perspective in this world. No right. There is nothing ultimate truth. That is how I see a reality. You know, ये delusional world है. इसमें कोई हकीकत, कोई सच्चाई, ultimate, except religious wise, there is an ultimate truth. उसके अलावा सब मफरूज़े हैं, सब ख्यालात हैं. हम सारे एक एनेक से दुनिया को देखते हैं और सबका देखने का तरीका डिफरेंट होता है. अगर मुझे किसी ने कोई फीडबैक दिया है और मैं उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा रिफ्लेक्ट करूं ओपन रहते हुए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंशियल फिल्टर्स को हटा के, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इन रियल लाइफ इज कि मैं अगर आपको फॉर एग्जांपल कहूँ कि थिंक ऑफ अ डॉग, एनी डॉग, Rottweiler. Why Rottweiler came into your mind? I had a Rottweiler. So I asked him to think of a dog. इन्होंने क्या किया, मेरा जो मैसेज इनके पास आया, इन्होंने एक्सपीरियंशियल फिल्टर लगाया हुआ है. हर किसी ने अपनी जिंदगी के तजर्बों से फिल्टर्स बनाए होते हैं एक्सपीरियंशियल. उसके बाद हम मैसेज को डिकोड करते हैं. अब इन्होंने सुना थिंक ऑफ अ डॉग, इन्होंने कुत्ता रखा हुआ था Rottweiler, and he started thinking about Rottweiler. There are hundreds of dogs. Probably I was thinking, I wanted him to think of a German Shepherd, but he thought of a Rottweiler because he had an experience with that dog. So अगर आप अपनी एक्सपीरियंशियल फिल्टर्स को रखते हुए किसी का फीडबैक लेंगे ना, क्योंकि आपका अपने बारे में ओपिनियन है, हम सब का होता है. अगर कोई एकदम से 360 डिग्री उल्टा ओपिनियन दे रहा है और मेरा फिल्टर लगा हुआ है और मैं कहूँ कि नहीं 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 ये क्या बात कर रहा है, दिस इज नॉट राइट, पहले वो मेरा दोस्त है उससे आप बात करने लगे ना, उस पहले उसकी गर्दन हिलना शुरू हो जाती थी, नहीं नहीं, मैं कहता सुन तो ले भाई। सो मुझे अपने एक्सपीरियंशियल फिल्टर्स को साइड पे रख के अनबायस होके एटलीस्ट उसको सुनना जरूर चाहिए। अगर मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं इसको वेरीफाई करूं, उसका तरीका क्या है, मैं मजीद पर्सपेक्टिव्स लूंगा, मैं 4 लोगों के और पर्सपेक्टिव्स लूंगा। अब मैं एटलीस्ट क्यूरियस तो हूं जानने के लिए, डू आई कम अलॉन्ग दिस। मगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल समबडी सेड कि यार नुमान यू आर वेरी एग्रेसिव इन 1-to-1 कॉन्वर्सेशंस, बड़ा एग्रेसिव से, तेरा अजीब सा एटीट्यूड है। मैं कहूँ एग्रेसिव तो नहीं, मैं तो हूँ ही ऐसा, you know, you have often heard of such people. यार मैं तो बात ही ऐसे करता हूँ. Now that person does not want to change because he has a very strong opinion about himself that I am the way I am. But on the other hand, अगर वो अपनी experiential filters को साइड पे रखे, वो कि अच्छा मतलब तुझे ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि मैं गुस्से वाला हूँ, वो आपको और चीज़ें बताएगा, because now he is comfortable sharing more information, because you have given me a message that I am open. Because mentor, अगर ये बात भी सुन ले, mentee अगर डिफेंसिव है तो mentor कभी भी खुल के फीडबैक नहीं देगा उसे। अगर मैंने आपको 2 फीडबैक दिया और मुझे आपके एक्सप्रेशन से पता लग गया कि you are not taking it the way it should have been taken, I won't give you more. Because you are not ready to take that, right? So उसका तरीका ये है कि मैं अनबायस होकर एटलीस्ट उसकी बात को समझूं, मजीद सवाल करूं, आपको ऐसा क्यों लगा है, वो बताएगा यार मतलब तू तेरी आवाज़ बहुत उस तरह की है, तो बहुत ऊंचा हो जाता है जब तू आर्ग्यूमेंट्स में आता है। आपको अच्छा मैं ऊंचा हो जाता हूँ, आप 2-3 बंदों से और पूछें, आप कहेंगे यार डू आई कम अलॉन्ग एज एन एग्रेसिव पर्सन or is it just one person's opinion? Because now you are asking for it, they'll give you, because now you are asking for it. Yeah. Your question is that how can I say कि यही right बंदा to trust? All right. So for that, हर किसी को mentor नहीं बनाना होता, right? A person who lives in इसकी example कैसे दूँ? If I drive a Corolla, for example, you will never come to me for a suggestion कि यार मैंने Honda buy करनी है तो मुझे बताओ कि Honda का कौन सा फलाना वेरिएंट लूँ या फलाना वेरिएंट लूँ। मैंने Honda ड्राइव ही नहीं की सारी जिंदगी, मुझे पता ही नहीं है, मैं तो Corolla ड्राइव करता हूँ. So I'm not the right person to give you advice on that. So always choose a mentor the way you want to become. Yeah, the destination where you want to reach, and he has reached in there. वो ऑलरेडी वहाँ बैठा हुआ है जहाँ तुम जाना चाहते हो. या एक पब्लिक स्पीकर है, यू आर वेरी इम्प्रेस्ड द वे ही स्पीक्स, द वे ही इन्फ्लुएंसेस पीपल, देन यू come to him and say, I want you to tell me how you do this and all the tips and tricks. So for that you find a person जो आपके दिल को इत्मीनान है कि यार मैं ऐसे ही बनना चाहता हूँ. अगर आपका उसके साथ you don't want to be like him, then you can't trust him to be your mentor. That is a very generic question, and it will take me hours to answer that question. That is what you'll find out through a curious mind. Okay, what is it that creates that magic? Because I have a list of things that accumulates to make that happen. I remember, or let's forget about that, but you can only wish for that to happen by getting yourself equipped enough to let that happen. It is something divine. इसको मैंने एक आर्टिकल भी लिखा था इसके ऊपर, डिवाइन इंग्रेडिएंट. तो ये डिवाइन इंग्रेडिएंट होता है, लेकिन ये इसके लिए आप ख्वाहिश कर सकते हैं, लेकिन सिर्फ ख्वाहिश नहीं करनी, आपने कुछ उसके लिए कुछ करना भी है ऑन ग्राउंड. सो यू विद अ क्यूरियोसिटी यू फाइंड आउट व्हाट दैट थिंग इज दैट क्रिएट्स दैट मैजिक. आई डोंट हैव आंसर टू दैट क्वेश्चन, सॉरी. थैंक यू. ऑलराइट, वंडरफुल क्वेश्चन. Do you believe that your voice can be changed or not?
Definitely, I need to really work very, very hard to make it not a very authoritative, but something better than a very humble voice.
It can happen or not? Yes or not? Or it can. Perfect.
But not towards that excellence. I believe there is always a limit, a range.
All right. All right.
To break the nature, I believe there is a range, and we cannot really.
आपको पता है नुसरत हैज़ बीन वन ऑफ द, नुसरत को जापान में सिंगिंग बुद्धा भी कहते हैं. उसका एक बुद्धा वहाँ पे उन्होंने एक स्टैचू भी बनाया है. बिकॉज व्हेन नुसरत वेंट टू जापान फॉर अ कॉन्सर्ट, देयर पीपल वर फैसिनेटेड विद द वे ही वाज using all the 7 rhythms ऑफ वॉइस इनटू एक ही लय में वो 7 रिदम कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये ह्यूमनली पॉसिबल ही नहीं है इस तरह का करना। और नुसरत के बारे में ये बात है कि नुसरत जब पैदा हुए थे वो एक कवाल ख़ानदान में पैदा हुए थे, तो नुसरत को घर वालों ने कहा था स्पेशली कि यू वॉन्ट बी एवर एबल टू सिंग बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव दैट वॉइस, तुम्हारे पास वो वॉइस नहीं है। एंड नुसरत हैज़ ट्रेन्ड हिमसेल्फ फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग to reach to the level where he was considered to be god of music. Now coming back to the point, nature क्या है, ये क्या है, इस कॉन्सेप्ट को थोड़ा क्लियर करते हैं, ये क्या बकवास है, नेचुरल है, ये नेचुरल स्पीकर है। आपने कभी 5 साल के बच्चे को देखा खड़े होकर फैसिनेट करते हुए किसी को, ऐसी तकरीर करे वो कि अगला बंदा के ओए होए तबाही मचा दिया। 5 साल के बच्चे, चलो और पीछे चले जाओ, 3 साल के बच्चे को जैसे नया नया बोलना सीखा है। मेरा एक रिश्तेदार थे, वो नए नए अमेरिका से वापस आए, हमारी बड़ी हम्बल सी फैमिली है, तो उन्होंने कहा यार गोरों के बच्चे इतने तेज़ हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे अंग्रेज़ी फर बोलते हैं, ऐसी अंग्रेज़ी बोलते हैं कि मतलब आपकी सोच है। नाउ व्हाट इज़ नेचुरल, एक बंदा बहुत अच्छा अगर स्पीकर है तो उसको वैसी कंडीशंस मिली होती हैं, वैसा एनवायरनमेंट मिला होता है जिसने उसको शेप किया होता है टू बिकम द पर्सन ही बिकेम। ऑन दी अदर हैंड एक बंदा कहीं और पैदा हुआ होता है डिफरेंट सर्कमस्टांसिस में, क्योंकि सोसाइटी आपको शेप करती है। आप बच्चे ही पैदा होते हैं क्यूरोसिटी के साथ, आपके दिमाग के अंदर कोई स्किल नहीं होती सिवाय क्यूरोसिटी के। वो क्यूरोसिटी आपको हेल्प करती है टू सर्वाइव इन द वर्ल्ड। आप सीखते हैं कि मेरे वालिद साहब ऐसे गुस्सा करते हैं, खड़ा होने होता है, ऐसे खड़ा होना होता है, बड़ों का अदब भी होता है। आप वेस्ट में जाएं तो वेस्ट में कल्चर वैल्यूज डिफरेंट हैं, उनका बच्चा वही कुछ सीखेगा वहाँ पे, यहाँ का बच्चा वही कुछ सीखेगा। तो नेचुरल क्या है, सेम तो हमें कुछ भी नहीं है, जो जहाँ पे पैदा हो रहा है वो वैसा बनता जा रहा है। सो हाँ, ये बात ज़रूर है कि कोई बंदे को बेनिफिट ज़रूर होगा कि वो ऐसे घर में पड़ा है जहाँ पे उसको बोलने के मौके ज़्यादा मिले, ऐसे स्कूल्स में पढ़ा है जहाँ पे उसको ऑडियंस ज़्यादा मिली है। सो ही विल डेफिनेटली बिकम अ better presenter and better public speaker. On the other hand, a person who didn't got a lot of opportunity, he won't be that good. But it is a skill. Let me clear this in your mind, and I truly believe in it, that it is a skill that can be learned. Voice is a skill. मुझे सारे कुड़ी रंगा कहते थे बचपन में, क्योंकि I had a very squeaky voice. I learned myself how to have a better voice. मुझे याद आज भी मैं वो करता था। There are different practices that you do to change the pitch of your voice, and every other thing is a skill that can be learned. Charismatic होना is a skill that can be learned. Nothing natural. If you believe that this is natural, then you are telling yourself that this is not my cup of tea. I cannot achieve this level because this is natural. I think that's my belief through experience. Again, I'm saying it with an experience because I was born in a family where I haven't gotten any opportunities. I was a very shy kid, very nervous, very insecure. मतलब मैं बता नहीं सकता आपको. On the scale of 1 to 10, I was on 15 probably. I was very insecure. But I have, alhamdulillah, I have had few mentors who have told me and made me believe that it is a skill that can be learned. So don't let anyone put this thought in your mind that he is naturally very good. I don't trust that person through my experience because that is what my assumption is and belief is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.